And welcome back to some more EQAO practice, everyone. We are looking at question number 50, which is a tricky one because the answer is buried underneath many different conversions, and we want to be able to manage our conversions very clearly to arrive at the correct answer. The student council, their goal is to purchase a wheelchair, and in order to do that, they need a certain number of pop tabs. Here's the things we know. About a little more than 1,000 pop tabs weigh a pound, but they're being paid per kilogram, and they need to gather 1,500 bucks. Okay, so let's line up all of the different things that we're going to need to do. Okay, we are going to need to take the pop tabs per pound, convert it to kilograms, find out how many kilograms are required to sell to get 1,500 bucks, and then multiply it all out so that we have a relationship between pop tabs and dollars and cents. Few different ways to do this. First way, this is probably the way I would not do it, but it's a nice way, is to find out how much money they raise with one pop tab, and then just divide 1,500 by that number to find the number of pop tabs. Be a really elegant way to find a solution, so I'll leave that one with you. What I'm going to do is just mash the numbers together and make sure I mash them together in the correct way. First, let's work with this. This is 1 pound of pop tabs. If 1 pound is that many, then a kilogram would be 2.2 times that number. So the number of pop tabs in a kilogram will be equal to 2.2 multiplied by 1,267. So do that in your head if you can. Ha ha ha. I'd like to have that level actually. I would like to develop the level where I can do 2.2 times 1267 without going to my calculator. It's 2,787.4, of course. 2,000. I can't even remember that number. 787.4, I believe. Yes. Okay. So now let's keep going. So this is the number of tabs per kilogram. Okay. Now this many tabs is worth 88 cents. You might be thinking there's easier ways to raise money, and I agree. But nevertheless, this is what the student council chose to do, so we're going to do the math for them. All right, here we go. So if this is worth 88 cents, we want to know how many kilograms we need to get. Since we get less than $1 per kilogram, I expect the answer to here be a little bigger than 1,500. We're going to need more than that many kilograms because we get less than $1 per kilogram. So the way we work on this is the number of kilograms required would be $1,500 divided by 88 cents. Okay. Notice that when I divide a number by a number smaller than 1, but bigger than 0, I will get back a bigger number. So do that in your head, folks. Okay, yeah, that would be a really good level. If you can divide 1,500 by 0.88 in your head. I mean, you could do 0.9 in your head and then, I don't know. Maybe. So it's that, okay? It's underneath my face. They need to gather 1,704.545454 kilograms of pop tabs. So they need I can't even remember that number, 04.5 kilograms. Notice that I rounded away at 0.5 kilograms, and I rounded down. So if they did this and someone said, well, you have raised $1,499.99, we're not giving you a wheelchair, that would be pretty sad. So I'm going to add a little bit there. I'm going to add the 5. And that way I'm rounding up from 4. So I'm going to choose to round at the hundredths place rather than the tens place to make sure I'm rounding up. Just a few things that I'll do there. Okay, so now this is how many kilograms are required. We know that this is the number of tabs per kilogram. And notice if I take kilograms and multiply by tabs per kilogram, The kilograms will be, this is kilograms over 1, okay? The kilograms on the bottom will cancel the kilograms on the top and give me the number of tabs. So the units will guide you to the correct answer if you do things correctly, okay? So let's just mash these numbers together. I will say number of tabs required to purchase a wheelchair will be equal to 1704 decimal 55 multiplied by 2,787.4. Okay, cool. I put a little comma in there for consistency. The convenient thing is I already have this number on my calculator. Okay, so rather than even rounding at all, I'm just going to multiply this here by 1704. Oops, wrong number, Mr. Jennings. 2787.4 equals. They will need 4,751,250 tabs. There. Notice that weird, funky repeating decimal actually canceled itself out when I multiplied by this number, because that number must have a factor that cancels the denominator that causes that weird repeating decimal. You would get a different answer if you used a rounded number than what we got. So that's an advantage of you leave the answer on your calculator and just work with what your calculator tells you. Okay, and so now, how many pop tabs are needed to purchase a wheelchair? So we want a sentence that answers that question. And we can do this. Therefore, these three little dots mean therefore, 4,751,250 tabs are required to purchase. Helps to spell purchase right. Purchase. One wheelchair. So, if you have any questions, absolutely hit me up by email. I hope your math practice is fruitful today. And yeah, stay frosty, folks.